What is a consensus check and how does it work? A consensus check is based on two simple principles. The first is that a candidate the voters prefer over each other candidate should win. Like a round-robin sports tournament, a team who defeats every other team wins. The second is that everyone should have a say. To understand how to count the ballots, we'll follow two voters, John, who favors blue candidates, and Emily, who favors yellow candidates. Although there are many voters from both parties, there are more blue voters, and blue candidates are heavily favored. Each party has two candidates in the election, and with 4 candidates, there are 6 one-on-one matchups: Ann versus Bob, Ann versus Carol, Ann versus David, Bob versus Carol, and so on. Voters use a ranked choice ballot to rank the candidates, and that tells us how they would vote in each of the 6 one-on-one matchups. John's first choice is Bob, and that tells us that John prefers Bob over Ann, Bob over Carol, and Bob over David. John could stop now, and his ballot would count in each of those one-on-one matchups, but John can express a preference for the remaining one-on-one matchups by ranking more candidates. John prefers Carol over either of the yellow candidates, so Bob ranks Carol second, ahead of Ann and David. Ranking Carol second registers John's preference for Carol over Ann and Carol over David. Finally, John prefers David's more balanced approach over Ann. Now we will follow Emily, a voter who prefers yellow candidates, to see how consensus voting allows her to have a say in the outcome. Emily's first choice is David, and that registers Emily's preference for David over Ann, Bob, and Carol. Ranking Ann as her second choice registers Emily's preference for Ann over Bob and Ann over Carol. Now Emily gets to do something that she could not do in a traditional primary-based election. This blue-leaning election is all but certain to choose a blue candidate. But which blue candidate? That crucial decision is made in the one-on-one matchup between Bob and Carol, and consensus voting allows Emily to have a say in that decision. Emily prefers Carol's more balanced approach over Bob's divisive tactics, and ranking Carol third helps Carol in her contest with Bob. Just like John, Emily got to have a say in the crucial choice of which blue candidate will win. Consensus voting uses every ranking on every ballot, and every voter gets a say in the outcome. Each of these one-on-one matchups converges to an outcome like any other one-on-one election. Some matchups may be close, but there are no sudden shifts, and no candidate is ever eliminated. After all of the ballots have been cast and counted, rearranging the one-on-one contest makes the winner obvious. First, we fade out the losing candidates and move the winning candidates to the left. Then, we sort the candidates by their number of wins. From this, it's easy to see that Carol is the winner because she has won all 3 of her one-on-one matchups. Any other winner would override the express wishes of the voters, majority rule, and political equality. Instant runoff can override the express wishes of the voters by eliminating candidates early in the process. Adding a consensus check ensures that if the voters prefer one candidate over each of the other candidates one-on-one, they are the consensus candidate and the winner. If not, use the existing instant runoff process on the same ballots to determine the winner. Inserting a consensus check is a very narrow change. If instant runoff would have chosen the consensus candidate anyway, there is no change. If there is no consensus candidate, we use instant runoff, so there is no change. If there is a consensus candidate and instant runoff would have chosen someone else, the consensus check safeguards fundamental democratic principles.